tuned in to the Third Coast Music Network, and as mentioned at the beginning of the hour, that we were going to be having Dallas Moore stopping by here. He's the hardest working man in honky tonk, and we'll talk about how hard he really does work. But he is this morning he was already up at the crack of dawn on one of the local morning shows. He's now doing this show this afternoon, and then he's got a gig tonight in town. And I'd like to welcome Dallas Moore.
How you doing, bud?
All right. So it's been a while.
It has been a while. I believe the last time that I was here,
it was was promoting one of these.
It was, yes. I believe it was probably either Mr. Honky Tonk or the one before that, Dark Horse Ride, or one of those two.
Maybe so.
It's been a minute.
And now you are a San Antonian.
Yes. I've been a part-time living in San Antonio, or Universal City, for the last 8 years. But earlier this year, myself and my family, my wife, Jenna Danielle Moore, and our daughter, Victoria Lee Moore, we moved down here to San Antonio. and
a lot of people, if they're traveling a lot playing music, being this far south is sometimes not the most advantageous, best place to be based out of, especially when you're going east and west, and you're going to the Pacific Northwest. San Antonio is a ways to go.
Well, we go everywhere, and we're originally from Cincinnati, Ohio, and so we were based out of Cincinnati and as well as Kentucky. We've got a lot of family up there, and we still play up there, quite a bit. But over the last 18 years, I've been playing music in Texas, and that has just continued to grow. And over the last 8 years, I was living part-time, down here, kind of a dual residency type of thing. And I just fell in love with San Antonio, and I kind of finally reached a point where it almost I can live wherever I want to live. And I love it down here, and my family loves it. And so we made the move to right here, and so I'm here as much as I possibly can be. And then when I am around, I do pick up some local gigs, kind of like the one I'm doing tonight at McFinnigan's Pub here in San Antonio. And then the rest of the time, I'm rolling the wheels to pay the bills, hitting the road. I think this will be the 14th year. I was going to say 13th. I believe it might be the 14th year that I will by the time I get to New Year's Eve, we'll have performed over 300 shows all across the U.S. And I leave to go back on tour with my band tomorrow. The rest of this week we're playing in Wisconsin and Illinois. And then I've got 2 weeks of a solo tour in Ohio, Kentucky, Indiana, and West Virginia. And then I get back to Texas. And I think we go to Florida.
Exactly. I was going to talk about that. I was like, okay, in 2 days from now, you've got to be in Wisconsin.
Yeah.
And then I wrote down all the states you're going to be playing just through the end of the month.
Yes. Yeah.
And then you get back here and you squeeze in Spring Branch and Cibolo.
Yes.
Damn, dude.
And then we turn around from there. And August, we're in Florida, Alabama, Texas, South Dakota, Nebraska, Minnesota, Iowa, and then 7 shows in Colorado. And then we go for our first headlining tour of the Pacific Northwest, playing Seattle, Portland, Oregon, and Springfield, Oregon. I've been up to the Pacific Northwest 2 times, but it was back in the 90s, and one was a tour where I was opening for Willie Nelson, and one was a tour where I was opening for David Allan Coe.
Cool.
So all these years later, I'm going back for my first headlining tour of the Pacific Northwest. I don't know if I'm going to run into old Sasquatch Bigfoot or not, but from what I remember the last time I was up there, if he was hiding out, that's where he might be.
Jeez. But you are going to be promoting this brand new upcoming album called Gems and Jams.
Yes.
And that is coming out, I guess, first or second week of August.
August 9th is when it's supposed to drop on Soul Records.
And it's your 18th.
Yes. It's my 18th record, and it's the very first time I've done a solo acoustic record. It's 15 songs that I wrote, recorded with this guitar that I'm playing here today, which was actually my Mama Majali's old guitar.
Yeah, I saw you talk about that.
Yeah.
Now she was a musician. Did
Yes,
she,
my Mama Majali, her full name was Majali Haynesmore, and she was originally from Leco, Kentucky, until her family moved up to Norwood, Ohio, which is part of Cincinnati, in 1941. And like so many people from the South did, they came to either Cincinnati or Detroit to find work. And that's how my parents moved up from Kentucky and ended up meeting. And they were married 61 years before.
What kind of music did she play?
She played, she started out in the early 1952 and 1953. She was on the Midwestern Hayride in a group called the Buckeye Bells, and she played guitar and sang. It was a 3-part vocal group, and I still got her old 78 records that they made, and she had their big hit was a song called "Down by the Riverside," and then things kind of changed. My dad came home from the Korean War, and he made her quit, and so she opened her beauty salon, and she didn't play music for many years until she got me my first guitar when I was 16 years old. And at that time, she decided to get back into it, and she took up playing mountain dulcimer, which was not her. She had never even heard of that before, but she started wanting to play the music that she grew up on. And so she went on to become a very prominent figure in Appalachian bluegrass and gospel music. And she and I got to record one album together of all the old Appalachian bluegrass and gospel things that she grew up on. I think we released that in 2013. It was called Old Time Family Jam. And she played her mountain dulcimer and her auto harp, and I played guitar, bass, and banjo and mandolin on it. And it was just me and my mama, and that's the only record we ever got to make. And another thing that tied in with that, here recently, 2 weeks ago, we got to do our first headlining show at Renfro Valley in Kentucky, which is it's been there since doing country music shows since 1939. And my mom had played there in 52 and 53, and I had never got to play there. And we just got to do that, and it was really like a family reunion up in Kentucky.
Wow!
And of course, I brought my band, which is all guys from Texas and everything. So we had a Texas and Kentucky reunion right there on the Renfro Valley stage.
So, are there any of those recordings that your mom is on? Can you find them online?
No, not at all. The only way they exist is on the old 78s that they recorded. They were recorded at historic Herzog Studios in Cincinnati, and my mom does appear on. I made one record there. It was called Hank to Thank, and it was recorded on 61 years to the day that Hank Williams Sr. had recorded there, and he recorded 6 of his biggest tracks, including I'm So Lonesome I Could Cry, Lovesick Blues, My Bucket's Got a Hole in It. All those Hank songs were recorded in Cincinnati. A lot of folks don't know that. And so there was a group called the Cincinnati Music Heritage Foundation, and when they brought the studio back to life, and it's more of like a museum now, because they were trying to let people know how much music had came out of Cincinnati. And most people had no idea Hank Williams recorded there, or that Foggy Mountain Breakdown by Flatt and Scruggs was recorded there. Of course, all the James Brown stuff and Bootsy Collins, that was all King Records. That was all Cincinnati.
Wow.
So that was all done up there. And on the 61st anniversary of Hank recording I'm So Lonesome I Could Cry and Lovesick Blues, they let us make a live album in front. We set up 100. We had an audience of 100 people, and we had my band, and my Mama Majali joined us, and my godfather was Jody Payne from Willie Nelson and Family. And Jody had retired from Willie at the time, and his health was starting to decline.
Right.
But he made his trip up from his home in Stapleton, Alabama, to make this album. And it was the last album that Jody ever recorded.
Whoa.
And so 61 years to the day that Hank Williams recorded I'm So Lonesome I Could Cry at Herzog Studios, me and Jody Payne and my mama stood in the exact same spot and re-recorded the same song to be part of this live album. So it was really, really cool. And I'm playing her guitar on this album, Gems and Jams, that I did, and I've got it here with me today.
Excellent. Ask him one question and get 15 minutes of answer. And some history lessons in there.
Yeah.
If you just tuned in, we're talking to Dallas Moore. He's playing tonight at McFinnigan's Pub.
Yes.
On Blanco Road. And he's getting out on the road promoting his upcoming album, Gems and Jams. And let's see if you got this guitar tuned up and you can pick one for us.
Let's hit this one. Sing my song. I've always fought the good fight for everything I've had. Say my prayers to Jesus and work hard like my dad. I tried to move a mountain so I could paint the town. I built myself a mansion just so I could burn it down. When my last race is run and my final battle's won, and my body here on earth is dead and gone, spread my ashes down in Texas, raise up your glasses and sing my song. Well, I guess I've had a good time from what I can recall, riding high up in the saddle just before I took the fall. And it should have been the death of me time and time again. When they count me out, I always fight my way back in. When my last race is run and my final battle's won, and my body here on earth is dead and gone, spread my ashes down in Texas, raise up your glasses and sing my song. Fought the good fight for everything I've had. Say my prayers to Jesus and work hard like my dad. I tried to move a mountain so I could paint the town. Built myself a mansion just so I could burn it down. And when my last race is run and my final battle's won, and my body here on earth is dead and gone, spread my ashes down in Texas, raise up your glasses and sing my song. Spread my ashes down in Texas, raise up your glasses and sing my song. Spread my ashes down in Texas, raise up your glasses and sing my song.
Yeah, it sounds that good live as it does on the new upcoming album, Gems and Jams. Talking to Dallas Moore. He's picking a few for us down here on KSYM. That's good. Now, when you came back through here a few years back, well, many years back, I guess, looking at your daughter.
Yeah, she just turned 7, and she had not arrived yet.
Yeah.
So it's been many moons.
Did you have some sort of classical musical training, or?
Yeah, I did. When I graduated high school, I went to Northern Kentucky University on a classical and jazz guitar scholarship. And so in the daytime, because I've always loved all kinds of music, but in the daytime, I would be playing stuff by like Bach and Beethoven and Paganini on the guitar, and that kind of went along with a lot of the heavy metal stuff that I kind of did when I was a kid, as well as the country stuff that I always played. And I also it was my only opportunity, or first opportunity rather, to play in the big band with the jazz stuff. And I started connecting the dots. Willie Nelson was always my favorite guitar player. And then I found out that his guitar hero was the great gypsy jazz guitarist Django Reinhardt. Right. And so I connected those dots. And then I started playing in the jazz big band. And I started realizing that these Count Basie and Charlie Christian, things, Tommy Dorsey and all that stuff, wasn't too far off from what Bob Wills and the Texas Playboys was doing. And I started kind of connecting all those dots and putting it all together. And I'd be playing that stuff in the day and then hitting every honky tonk I could at night.
Exactly.
And I kind of just threw it all in one big pot of jambalaya and mixed it up and got the way that I play.
Talking to Dallas Moore. He's in San Antonio, is now his new hometown, and he's playing tonight over at McFinnigan's Pub, about 8:30, I believe, is downbeat about that time. Now, early in your career has been like 25 years or so?
Well, I started when I was 16, and I'm 53, fixing to be 54 here next month, so it's been many moons.
So you weren't always fronting a band. You were early on just part of a band?
Well, yeah, but I ended up being the front man and singer for my first band. We were called Poison Whiskey, and we were a pretty heavy Southern rock band. And then that turned into the first incarnation of the Dallas Moore Band, which is the lineup has changed, many times over several years and stuff now. But when I first started out, I kind of became the singer just because I could remember the most words. But I was also the lead guitar player as well. But it definitely because I could sing very good, But I could remember the words better than anybody, and I didn't have any problem getting up in front of everybody and entertaining them and everything, carrying on.
Well, it sounds like it was in your DNA with your mom and everything. Like that. So now, any other siblings are musicians?
No, I just have one sister, my sister Brenda, and she doesn't play any music. Actually, I think when she was younger, she used to play piano, but no, she never did play music. But she loves music, and the show I was just talking about it in Renfro Valley, that was like a family reunion. Her and her husband were able to come see us, and they've all, my whole life and career, they've always been very supportive of me, just as my mom and dad, was and everything. But yeah, other than my mama, I'm the only one in the family, plays music.
I got to talk to Dallas Moore, and this is San Antonio College Radio, KSYM. Got an upcoming album coming out on August 9th called Gems and Jams, which you can pre-order and do all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
And you guys are very, I'm not a big social media person, but you've had this, I happen to like, especially when someone's coming on the air, I was like, sure, I can look at your history, but I want to see what your social media is doing.
Yeah.
And I ran into this, I guess it was a Facebook Live deal, Monday with the Moores.
Yeah. So me and my wife, Jenna Danielle Moore, and our daughter, Victory, we don't do it every Monday because a lot of times with our traveling, we're not able to do it. But whenever we can, we host a little Facebook Live thing. We just call it Monday with the Moores, and we're usually either at our home or wherever, if we're traveling, wherever we're out on the road. One time we did one out in a Waffle House in Nashville because we had just finished making a video up there, and that's where we were at. So it kind of just depends on where we're at. We've done it from Mexican restaurants or hotels or just kind of wherever we're at when we can get it in. But the one we had last night was a special one. It was the first time we've ever got to do a live stream from Lukenbach, Texas at the dance. They gave us they were so
that
gracious.
Was pretty cool.
And we've got a great relationship with the folks at Lukenbach. I've been playing there for many years now. And Jamie Glover and just everybody there is like family and friends with us. And I called them up. I said, hey, man, any chance, I know Monday's kind of a slow night, any chance we could set up in a dance hall and shut the doors off, and this would be nothing amplified or nothing. It would just be me and my guitar, and do our Monday with the Moores live from Lukenbach. I said, what I want to do is play the entire album, all 15 songs, and tell the stories behind the song. And he's like, sure, come on down and do it. And
it worked out great. I mean, except for maybe the heat.
So the phones, I believe it was 103 degrees outside, and we had to shut all the doors and windows. And we couldn't have the fans running inside.
Fans would make noise.
I had a thermometer inside, and it was 109 inside. And so I was playing.
You were looking pretty cool, though.
3 different times. I was cool as the breeze off Lake Louise. But 3 times the phone actually overheated, and my wife had to go. She was doing the camera duties there for us, and she had to run to. There's a little off the side stage at the dance hall at Lukenbach. There's this little old refrigerator in the Waylon Jennings room that they call it Hondo's Hilton, because Hondo Crouch used to let the musicians crash out there. And there's one old refrigerator, and it still works. And she had to go put the phone in the freezer
to cool it off, so you could use it for
so
video.
We could continue. And miraculously, it never cut our feed off. It was just, she would take it out of the freezer and like, and we're back.
Yeah, I noticed that. And that was fun. And that was on your day off.
Yeah, that was the day off.
We're talking to the hardest American man in honky tonk, and I think it might be true. He's everywhere. If there's a day off and there's a venue, you might pick up that rock. You might find Dallas Moore under it.
We're gonna pick it.
All right, you're back to the Third Coast Music Network. It's 5 p.m., and we've got Dallas Moore down here in the studios of KSYM. He's got a brand new upcoming album called Gems and Jams coming out on August 9th, but he's got a gig this evening right here in San Antonio at McFinnigan's Pub, starting up at about 8:30 or so. I got a question for you. Okay, you're out on the road a lot.
Yeah.
When you get back to San Antonio, what do you? I don't want to get anything personal here, but what do you look forward to when you get back home? Is it might be some Tex-Mex food? It might, or is it happy doing? You don't seem like the guy that's happy just sitting around that much.
Well, I ride my old Harley Davidson Road King, and I as much as I possibly can. That's the way I write a lot of songs. When I'm out riding my old Road King, that's one of the only times I'm by myself, and I don't have any distractions. And a lot of times, a lot of my songs, that's how they get started, So I do a lot of riding, especially if I can get out, out in the hill country, and take off on that. Love a lot of the restaurants and everything around, and just spending time with my family, when we're all together. A lot of times we're together on the road, but it's always great to get home as well. My wife is a great cook. She's actually my favorite cook in all the world. All the places that we get to go, my wife's home cooking is still my favorite. So when we all get home, I've always got her cooking up something good for me.
Now, does Jenna? Is she part of the Dallas Moore music business?
Yes, she very much, and just like always has. She's my partner. We're 100% completely independent on everything. We do have our partners with Brian DeBruler and his wife and family. It's our record label, Soul Records, and they're our business partners with the record label. But
it's like booking.
Well, no, that's the
that's the record label.
Recording the music and distributing it and getting it out and everything.
But as for booking,
for booking and everything, my friend Vic Ashcraft out of Fort Worth, he helps me with it. But Jenna and I do the lion's share of everything. So we do all the booking, all the advertising. You talking about social media? I run all of my own social media, so all the Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. It's called X now. I know it's X's and O's or tweeters and tweets.
Well, just like we were looking a while ago. It's like, okay, in a couple of days from now, you've got to be in Brooklyn, Wisconsin.
Yeah. And
we thought, well, let's see how far that is, and that's like a 19-hour drive or so.
Yeah, so we leave at 1:00 tomorrow for that. And then so we'll drive straight. And
if you mentioned the guys in the Dallas Moore Band, I would think most of the Third Coast listeners are going to know some of these names for sure.
So on lead guitar from right here in San Antonio, we've been playing music together off and on, for a while or for years and been friends. But now we're actually neighbors as well as he's in my band. The great Will Owen Gage.
He is a monster.
Yes, plays left-handed, upside down, behind his back. back, whatever you got. But he's a string strangler supreme, and I call him my partner in crime.
He's great, yeah.
And but Will is doing a great job. He's been playing all of the full band gigs since last August of 2023.
Excellent.
And when we're able to leave on a full band run from down in here in Texas, they'll just jump on the van. Otherwise, if I'm touring like this week, I'm playing some acoustic shows on the way until we can get to the band shows on the weekend, and in that case, then I fly everybody in on stuff. But got Willow and Gage from here in San Antonio, Texas, on lead guitar. Brother Mike Bernal from Austin, Texas, on the drums.
And he definitely knows how to travel, being with Dale for over 10 years.
I believe Mike played drums for Dale Watson for 12 years, I think, 12 or 13, and he also did some time, a couple years with Gary P. Nunn.
Wow. Okay.
And he's been playing with me for 3.5 years now. And so that's great. He's one of my best friends, and it's pretty. I always say it's pretty cool when your heroes become your friends, and that's what I was such a fan of Mike. Playing with Dale, and I knew him for all the Ameripolitan stuff that we were involved in for so many years, and even before that, really. But it's just been great to play music together. And then on bass, I'm rotating between Ted Russell Camp, who he lives out in Los Angeles, and of course Ted was famous he's one of the original people playing with Shooter Jennings,
right.
And he's also a great solo artist in his own right and songwriter and a great producer as well. In fact, Ted is going to be co-producing my next full band album after Gems and Jams. So Ted and I will be co-producing that record, and we're going to record that here in Texas as well. And when Ted is not playing with us, we got Sister Mandy Shuker, who's originally from Lubbock, Texas, and right now she lives in Nashville, and she's just fantastic as well. And she used to play with Mike Bernal back in Lubbock, back in there, because that's where Mike's originally from.
Wow. Okay.
So it's kind of that's what this current lineup of the Dallas Moore Band has morphed into. And
sounds like
cool.
You're liking it.
Yeah, yeah. It's kind of like old Willie said with, On the Road Again, the life I love is making music with my friends. So it's pretty cool.
There you go. Why don't you play one more live for us? And then I've got the little questionnaire we're going to do for you.
Okay, well, up here tonight at McFinnigan's, I'm doing a free show at McFinnigan's Pub here in San Antonio on Blanco Road. And that starts at 8:30, and we're calling it Texas Tequila Tuesday. So I'm going to play the tequila song.
There you go.
I knew something was wrong when she picked up the telephone line. I could tell by the crack in her voice, she had tears in her eyes. She said, I hate to say it, maybe we took it too far. I said, don't worry, baby, you still got a piece of my heart. Remember the night we drank the tequila and slow dance. You whispered, I love you in my ear while I held your hand. I guess we both knew we couldn't go on for forever. But now that you're gone, I need you now more than ever. Guess I'll move on, 'cause heartache don't look good on me. It is what it is. This is how it's got to be. One thing I promise, I'll always remember your kiss. I'll always love you, that's just the way that it is. tequila and slow dance. You whispered I love you in my ear while I held your hand. I guess we both knew we couldn't go on for forever, but now that you're gone, I need you now more than ever. My baby, now that you're gone, I need you now more than ever.
Yeah.
The tequila song.
The tequila song. And you can hear that and drink that tonight at McFinnigan's Pub and listen to it from the man that wrote the tune right there. Now, you, I was going to ask about if you have any, what motivates you to want to put out another record? And then when we were taking a break here for a second, you talked about that you got Ted Russell Camp's going to do a whole new Dallas Moore full band record already. That's already in the works, sort of.
It's all. We're always trying to kick the can a little further down the road, and I've always got a different, project, in the works, and so I thank goodness so far we've never run out of material. We're always coming up with a new concept and new music, and I'm always writing new songs, and I'm really blessed in that I'm getting to over the years develop friendships and relationships with a lot of my heroes and songwriting heroes in particularly, and do things with them. This past weekend I played up in Tennessee for the reunion shows and the final shows of Hank Williams Jr.'s Bama Band.
I saw that
with all the original guys, and Cowboy Eddie Long, who's one of the greatest pedal steel guitar players in the world and a great hero of mine. He came out and played my entire set with me, and now we're talking about doing some more shows together. Of course, he's playing with Jamie Johnson now, has for the last many years. And Billy Earhart was on piano and keyboards, and of course Billy was an original member of a founding member of the Amazing Rhythm Aces, and he played with Al Green as well, and then he did over 20 years with Hank Jr. in the Bama Band, and he was the band leader for the Bama Band, and he was there, and he's a great friend of mine. And Billy had played on some demos of mine many years ago, and we talked over this weekend about maybe getting these guys involved on my next full band record. So it's really cool.
Use those contacts.
Yeah, it's pretty neat. I said before, and probably sound like a broken record, but it's pretty cool when your heroes become your friends.
Exactly. All right, I got one little thing here that I've done it with a few people that have been on the air. I've got my neighbor said, "Oh, you're in radio, so you must like music." So she found this country music triviologies game at a garage sale.
Okay.
And it's going back to 2005 when I'm not sure if country music was good at that time or not. So what I've done with people that are willing to play, I ask you, we just pick a card out, and I'll ask you, and then I'll get you to sign the card.
Okay.
And we've had Mary Gaucher do it, Slade Cleaves, a few other folks, Melissa Carper.
Okay.
Have done it. So we'll see what you know.
Let's see what we
got. Remember, this is 2005. I'm not sure, like I say, whether that was really the high point of country music at that time. Let's see. We've got, which category do we want? Legends, new, which would be 2005. Jukebox, mix, or women?
Let's do legends.
This Hank, known as the king of Western swing, had dozens of hits in his 55-year career, including his signature song, The Wild Side of Life.
Hank Thompson.
Of course. Ding, 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 ding. That's one.
Hank Thompson, if I'm not mistaken, is buried up in Waco, just about 14 feet away from where Billy Joe Shaver and Eddie Shaver are buried. At Waco Memorial Gardens.
I'm just going to take your word for that.
Yeah, we were just there, and I'm pretty sure that's true.
All right. Next category, new, jukebox, mix, or women?
Jukebox.
Let's see. Rock and Western swing band Asleep at the Wheel scored a hit in 1975 with the bourbon-laced song, The Letter That... Oh, I do know that one.
Oh, you got me on that one.
The Letter That, and it's 3 words. The Letter That, and it's a bourbon-laced song. The Letter That...
I don't know. You got me on that one.
It's the letter that Johnny Walker read.
The Johnny Walker read.
That's right. All right.
You got me on it. And I'm pretty up, fairly up on my Asleep at the Wheel trivia,
Okay.
but you got me on that one.
All right. Which now, women, mix or new?
Mix.
In the 1980 made-for-TV movie, The Gambler, which country music star made his acting debut in the lead role?
Kenny Rogers.
Of course. I don't even need to turn that around. I know that one's right. So you're not doing too bad here.
Yeah. I can't believe I missed the Asleep at the Wheel question. That's the one
All right.
you got me on.
We got women and we got new.
Let's do women.
This redheaded female country star's early hit, the 1965 Here Comes My Baby, earned her a Grammy. 1965, Here Comes My Baby. Redheaded female.
Reba McEntire? I don't know.
I wouldn't have known this either. Dottie West.
Dottie West, yes.
Well, we tried.
Yeah, I actually, Dottie West's granddaughter was just at that shows that we were just playing with. Shelley West is her mom, and she performed "You're the Reason God Made Oklahoma." Her name's Tess Frizzell, and she's Dottie West. And I just ran into her last Saturday. So
well, gee,
so there
okay.
you go.
And then we'll find it. Remember, this is 2005.
Okay.
Music partners John Rich and Big Kenny shook up the country music universe with their 2004 record "Horse of a Different Color." They are also known as
Big and Rich.
Of course. That was new in 2005.
See, I still think 1995 was 10 years ago.
So what I'm going to do is have you sign this, and I'm going to date it, and we're just going to leave them in this box. And what we're going to do with them, I have no idea. But you did pretty good. You did pretty darn good. So you got, I think you got...
I got 3 out of 5.
3 out of 5. Yeah. There you go. Talking to Dallas Moore, we'll give him some... parting gifts here, some KSYM parting gifts for playing the game this afternoon. And once again, DallasMoore.com.
Yes, DallasMoore.com. And I run all of my own social media on Facebook, Instagram, and X. So follow me, and I'll follow you back, and give me a holler, and I'll holler back at you.
And will you even have some merch tonight to sell?
Yes, we will. We always got have our vinyls and CDs and a ton of merch at the shows, and then we also have our complete online store at DallasMoore.com, and that's also where you can pre-order the new album Gems and Jams, and the pre-orders begin shipping out next week. So if you pre-order, you save some money, and you receive it about a month, almost a month in advance of it actually coming out. And there's different packages, everything from vinyls and CDs and T-shirts all the way up to house concerts. So if you ever wanted to have me do some picking for you, acoustic or with the full band, you can do that too.
There you go.
So
and now that you live in the hood down here,
yeah.
you live within inside the loop. Dude. All right, I'm going to leave it with this. We're going to play Best Thing I Ever Did. Was you any setup to this song?
It's a fine love song.
There you go. It ain't about tequila. Well, it could be. You never know. All right. Appreciate it, man.
Thank you so much, Dave.
Thanks,
Appreciate it.
Thanks.
I've had a big time with the bright lights of Vegas.